I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Administrator, please call the roll.
Trustee Henry,
Here,
need you to state your address.
12913 Southwest Vermillion Circle, Port St. Lucie, Florida.
You pitching tomorrow's game in spring training? Trustee Coffey? Here. Trustee Evans?
Here.
Trustee Lopez?
Yes.
Mayor Williams?
Here.
And I'll know the presidency, myself, the other fine gentlemen, and the ladies with us this evening.
Thank you, sir. This time we'll open the public hearing. An application pursuant to Village Code, Chapter 293, subdivision of land by Pinehurst Partners for subdivision approval with respect to property located at 15 Robbins Avenue.
Evening, gentlemen. Good evening.
Tell us what you want to do. Maybe
So we're proposing to take a 10,000 square foot lot and make it into two 5,000 square foot lots.
Board members, any questions? Administrator?
I'm just gonna note that what the gentleman provided me with is the mailing notices. And then just, the two 5,000 square feet lots are the minimum, which is being presented. And everything else, as long as the setbacks are required, to the next step, the lots are your basic, 50 by 100 and, like the rest of the village. I don't know if the attorney has anything more to add.
Counsel.
Yeah, I was sort of scrambling for my, home for whether or not this is referred to the county. It seems unlikely that it will be referred, that everything else. Infrastructure being put in, right, the streets, and how close it is to the town. I think Tony had chimed in with this, given that it was not something that we would refer to the counties. That's how it is.
Gentlemen, any questions? Comments?
I assume you don't need any variances.
Yeah, we'll just wait to see if anybody else. Anyone from the public comment on the subdivision only? All of the stuff will be later. Just need your name.
Around the order, I'm a resident at,
Why don't you come up to the mic so
Name and address, please.
First name is Haran, last name is Porter, address is 16 North French. I believe I'm right in back of this property. Talked about. I just would like to have a few questions. What is exactly going there? Is it two residential? Is it commercial? Because
Residential.
it's residential, so it's that big lot that's they intend to turn it into
Two,
two.
take a peek.
Yes, please. Sure.
That's the big lot. He's just gonna split it into put two. Building lots in the village are 5,500. So he's just gonna make it divide it in half to make two to 5,500. So
Do you know the timeline with this as far as from start to finish? Because I know you guys, I don't know if it was you guys that knocked down the previous house that was there. And that was about a year ago, a year and some change, that the demolish was happening.
Yeah.
So do you have a timeline from start to finish? Roughly, I understand things.
Yeah, we still have to file get the house plan approved.
Right,
We're gonna start with one house first and then go to a second house. But, that house plan will take, probably a couple of months at least. And then hopefully within the next couple of months after that.
and I assume Monday through Friday as far as working.
Yeah, yeah, the regular work hour times.
It's just sometimes my schedule, I work at night, sometimes I work days.
Yeah, we don't want to disrupt it, yeah.
No, I get it. Sometimes when I'm working at night, I understand that I'm sleeping during the day.
Uh,
I can't ask, people who are constructing normal business hours to attend to me. I just wanted to know, because I received a certified mail as far as this, and I'm like, what is this going on? So I figured I'd just come to, find out what's going on. I am a New York City detective and I'm in New York City, and there's a lot of stuff that's happening with as far as residential being converted into other means of living. And I just wanted to know, are we gonna be affected by that, by two structures that is happening right in back of my house?
it's a good point.
Um,
I know what you're talking about.
little Jamie Anthony. No, I get it. Just thank you for your time. Thank you. I appreciate it.
thank you.
Thank
Oh,
you.
David, anytime there's something like that, the applicant has to mail out with so many feet of the property to everybody to be aware. Thank you for coming down. Thank you for your service. Stay safe. We have a very active and proactive, safe housing task force. Where we make sure that houses do comply. We have 1,200 households in the village. We did 500 of them, cleaned them out of illegal things that were going on.
Right.
So there's only, can't tell you that they're all gone, that would be absurd to say that.
Right.
But we definitely got a very good handle on it now. Where we actually passed a lot of legislation where you can't just put attics and basements and rooms and apartments and stuff like that. All that has to come through us with special permits, and if you violate it, the permit gets taken away, you get fined $20,000. And so we did a lot of work over the years to prevent that and to keep a handle on it. So they'll get the same speech when it comes time for them to submit their building plans, but hopefully they're just two nice houses on two lots, and you have two residents
Right.
and your neighbors behind you.
Rolling in the dice. But you still didn't answer like when you guys will actually start.
We'd like to start this year.
This year, okay, roughly this year, so you have a couple.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you,
thank you.
thank you.
Thank you for your questions. Anyone else in the public? No one else spoke. Motion to close the public hearing?
So moved. Second.
Roll call?
Trustee Henry,
Aye.
trustee Coffee,
Aye.
trustee Evans,
Aye.
trustee Lopez, Mayor Williams.
Aye. This time we'll open up a public hearing for proposed local law repealing and replacing Article 4 of the Code of Village Officer to enact property tax exemptions for senior citizens pursuant to section 467 of the New York State Real Property Tax Law. Mike, could you go over that again? Because I had to do a lot of explaining to a lot of people, and it's about it's 58, 59,000, whatever it was, with the IRAs and stuff like that now come into place as an income, and
So we're doing two things here. We're putting this law that when we gave over our assessing, we Let me just get this in front of me here. We gave over our assessor, we did away with all our tax exempt laws that were in our code, and we made a blanket, we're following everything that Greenberg does. So what we're doing, two things. First, we're taking this law back and putting it on our books. Basically, the town of Greenberg law that was on their books. And the only real change to it is the income level that the state made, as well as now IRAs, individual retirement accounts, count as income. In the past, only certain percentage of that count. Now it's going to be all of it.
The question people had was what happens if we decide not to allow the IRAs to count?
Then they don't have to count. And
Right, so in other words, the limit would be, I forget, it's 58, 59, I don't have it in front of me. And then if somebody still made X amount of dollars in an IRA, that would be all,
correct,
right? So it wouldn't penalize them towards their tax off the
correct.
product. Yeah.
That's not what Greenberg's gonna do. That's not what I believe any of the other municipalities.
Yeah, we forgot the estimate on that.
The likelihood of somebody who has an IRA not already being over the threshold is not very good.
The other thing that was brought up is that right now, the IRAs are paying 5%. You know, a couple of years ago, they were 0.001%. So the same $250,000 IRA today is making $1,000 a month. A couple of years ago, it was $50 a month. So the income changes.
It's not the value of your IRA.
Right,
It's
it's the
what
income.
your income.
Well, that's what I just said. So it was $50 a month, today it's $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thought process is it wasn't fair because when they do go back down to $50 a month, the people aren't making any money, there's not a lot of income, and they're being penalized. And it's also, people are being penalized for saving money over the years, which isn't fair because that's the idea. The American dream is to save money and then invest it. So the other problem is like a lot of the private pensions aren't as nice as municipal pensions. So the seniors actually aren't making that much money in their pension, social security. You take, one of our retired police officers retired in 1990, you know, his pension was $25,000 a year. And his social security going along with that was probably $1,000. So, you know, he'd be under the mark, but you get a guy today, or you go anywhere between there, you know, their pensions are right on that borderline. So it's kind of sad that today they're being penalized because they're making $1,000 a month, but next year when they go back down to 0.00%, they're making no money. So it's really not fair to penalize them on the IRAs that they're making a little extra income on.
But let me play devil's advocate. So, but it's okay that Joe retires and his IRA or his pension doesn't put him over the top. But he goes out and gets a side job and that puts him over the top. What's the difference?
That's exactly right.
There's no difference. There's no difference.
Yep.
And I use Joe because I know that he's concerned about the IRA piece.
Yeah, well, me too.
Especially on stock too.
It's the same thing. In other words, say if you take my pension, my social security coming up, if I add the IRA to it, I'll be over. If I don't, I'll be under. So
But it's your net adjusted income.
I understand that.
Gross.
Right, but if you take it today and I take my IRA, I'll be over the limit. If it goes back down to this, I'll be below, so it doesn't,
Not today, no, you're way above this. It's your salary too.
no, when I retire.
Oh,
So I'm a person right there that's not gonna benefit from, I'm gonna get hurt from. If the percentage rate stays high, I get hurt. If the
your
percentage
state
rate-
pension is gonna be higher than this. Should be. I'd have to see that.
Yeah, it's $38,000 a year.
Yeah, but it's increasing every year.
I'll be dead by the get time, because of 58,000. So, I mean, that's a perfect example. You know, it's good to, but the money I'm making off of my IRA puts me over the top. Tomorrow, when it goes down, it's the other way around. So I won't be able to qualify if I were retired today, because I'm making more than the, because it's 5%. When it goes back down, then I'll be able to qualify. So it is a perfect example where it's not fair one way or another way. So,
But it's also gonna, it's your household, income,
right,
not just yours.
right. I'm just saying, if I was, because I know a lot of people that are, that is their household. I can't, make up wives didn't work back then. You got a lot of seniors that are 80 years old today, their wives didn't work. That's their income, and their pensions are lower than normal pensions, because it was a private pension. So it's a catch 22. I mean, I agree that it's not fair that the guy who doesn't have anything to put him over the top. But, we also got to realize we're helping everybody else with tax breaks and incentives, and the poor seniors are getting hurt. Now, and tonight we're gonna vote to give the firemen more money, more tax breaks, but not the seniors. I mean, and they're the people that built this village. They're the ones that are fixed income.
See, I would disagree with it, because
How would you
I'm telling you,
disagree with
more than likely, there are
But
very
if
few
there's
people.
one, we're
this-
hurting the person. And we're helping every firefighter who meets the criteria, but
But
we're
you
not
draw a
helping.
line, and the line is like, for example, you're establishing an income at 58,000 is the max,
Right.
okay? So, which is a whole lot higher than it used to be.
Yes.
And based on that, you're given a 5% discount. You go up to the 50 to below, and you're given a 50% discount. And that's based on, those are pennies of income. Anyone outside of that area, the state, and the state is the one who put this in effect, is saying, anybody above that, you don't need it, you don't
Right,
need it.
but who can live in Elmsworth at $59,000 a year?
There's not that many people
There's more than you think. It's a lot more than you think.
not applying for this according to the assessor,
Well, but there is more out there.
and
But that's fine, dude, I
And the
understand.
assessor- and the assessor said-
I have, my job is to voice the public's opinions, and I'm doing
the assessor said
it, and
that
I'm doing it very
this
well.
thing, this thing's not hurting us,
Right.
it's hurting the other wealthier communities, that's who it's gonna hurt. And like she said, there's people making $200,000 out of
Right.
IRAs that right now are getting a 50%
Which is
discount.
fair, right?
Shame on them.
Yeah, it's one of them, you can't win either way.
Which then,
But I
That
had to bring
person-
it to everybody's attention because that's.
and in all likelihood, that person's living in a more valued house. So when that person gets that 50% discount on the taxes, you're now paying that.
Mhm.
Somebody else is paying it.
Just like every other discount we give it.
Yeah.
Let me make
The
sure
veterans discounts, it's for everybody's.
that I'm fully understanding. If someone's receiving $58,000 from their IRA in, right? We're not saying that that's their only source of income at all, like, correct?
Correct.
Right, so it's gonna be that 58 on top of something else,
Social Security,
social security. Pension,
would
right?
be if they have another pension, there's people who have other pensions.
Correct. So in actuality, we're really not having a conversation about someone making $58,000 a year not receiving a discount. What we're actually talking about is somebody who's getting $58,000 on top of what they may already be getting in social security and their pension. That would then not,
Pretty much, that's who the state's talking.
okay, so that I think is a distinction between just that IRA money being their sole income. So I think reframing it in that way would be helpful. Is what you're hearing that we have residents who the IRA is their sole source of income?
No, they have pension, social security, but it's under 58,000. If they take the income from the IRA, it's over the 58,000.
But what
That's today's rate.
I'm understanding is,
Can they, right,
yeah,
question, if the IRAs go back down to nothing and they're under the limit, can they apply then?
For the year, yeah.
Right, that's what I'm saying. In other words, today they're over.
Right.
because it's 5%. Tomorrow, when it goes back to 0.0001, they'll be making under the amount. Can they apply then?
Only on the calendar year.
Right, doesn't mean, so that's good news. So that's
You
the
can
point,
apply
the
every year.
point, Trustee Evans is right, is that,
You have to apply it.
right, in other words, today, with the percentage rates of making the money in the IRAs is over to 59,000. You follow me? With their whole income, their total income, social security, pension, IRA, puts them over to 59,
It's
they can't
adjusted
apply.
net income.
Sorry, yes,
It's
that is
adjusted,
correct, that's what they're.
gross, whatever.
Right, so. But tomorrow, next year, we'll do next year, because you don't like my tomorrow word, if they are under because the IRA's
Yep, they
market
can
collapses,
apply
then they
if
can
they-
apply. So
correct.
then it's good then, so then 1 year they suffer, and the next year it'll be okay,
Correct.
because he knows it's not gonna last very long, it's gonna go back to normal.
They have to prove that.
Yes, you gotta apply every year.
Yeah. so it's
Yeah,
gotta be-
well, that's good then, you know, that'll definitely help the people that are on the fence.
But we're not talking about somebody with an income of $58,000, so
We are,
that's that's the distinction I need to know. Are we talking about this person that's $59,000 a year in all of their income and thus they're not eligible? Or are we talking about someone who the portion of their income is $59,000 just from their IRA and thus they're not eligible? What
It's
are we-
all income.
It's all income, okay.
One of the other loopholes that ends up getting through, which the state was debating on how do we do this, but they didn't include it, is people who have properties that are collecting rent.
right,
That never shows up. I mean, I can tell you there was, it goes back 10 years ago, there were 2 or 3 people, when I saw that they had the senior citizens exemption, I said to our clerk, I said, this has got to be in the state. And I said to the assessor, can I look at their application? And I can tell you that they were missing thousands and thousands of dollars.
well, the 2 families are reported because they can write off the 2 family, but the ones that have the border aren't probably reporting that money. So yes, it's, yeah, a lot of that money goes undetected.
Right.
So they're,
So I mean, it's all over the place. And we've had them in the past, I can tell you, we've had them in the past where, this is probably 15 years ago, one elderly lady came and she said, I got denied, why did I get denied? So I called the assessor's office, I asked, and it was off by like $600.
Yeah.
That was the difference. But also it was 5%. And I showed her that, what was fortunate for her that year is I think her assessment went down by more than 5%. So it was break even. You know, all those things, you know, materialize into the fact too.
no, it's good that we know that they can apply later on when things change.
Every year. But again, also, you could take that out. That's part of the reason why we're here, and that's the only reason we're, to be honest with you. It's the only substantive change. But if you take that out, we still have to adopt our own law, less that, because Greenberg's gonna have vendors. I know that it is that's no ifs, ands, or buts on that.
She's very tough.
Well, I think it's more important than our.
Anyone from the public? Nobody did, no one spoke, any board members? Motion to close the public hearing? So. Record. Roll call?
Trustee Henry,
Aye.
trustee Coffee. Aye. Trustee Evans,
Aye.
trustee Lopez, Mayor Williams.
Aye. Open a public hearing for a proposed local law repealing, replacing Article 3 of Chapter 300 Taxation Code of New Hampshire to enact property tax exemption for volunteer firefighters pursuant to Section 466-A.
Is it, well, you want to open it first?
Huh?
Open,
I did, I said open a public hearing.
gotcha. So. Basic principle, again, we're here because we did away with this, we followed the towns. The state made some changes to the law, which were optional. And if we're going to, well, we really have no choice. Within 2 years, you have to adopt your own anyway. So we have to take this back just like we're doing now. The couple of changes that were made and This law represents us accepting every change that was made by the state. The current law is a 5-year membership. You have to be a member for a minimum 5 years. You could go as low as 2 years. This law takes you to 2 years to be eligible for the exemption. This law provides for in line of duty death benefit if you're on the exemption program, and there's a death on duty, your unremarried spouse will continue the exemption. And also for 20-year members, a member who has been on the program for 20 years, active member of the fire department, passes away, the unremarried spouse also continues the exemption. Those are the bells and whistles of this. One other piece, the state law as well as our law previously, or the town law previously, was very non-committal on the definition of a good member or an active member. So working with NICOM and a couple of other people, we've established a definition that comes really from the Fire Service Awards program, but then also has a threshold for the Fire Service Awards program of 10% of the points for the previous year and or the current calendar year, because you could be applying for this in March and you may have made 10% in January, February, but you didn't make it the year before. So the assessor each year will get a certification of who has met their minimum qualifications that are residents and members of our fire department. Basically, the 10% would be 5 points of the Fire Service Awards, which shows you are getting up during the day, putting your clothes on and going to some balls. That's what it shows. And again, this is limited, very limited in exposure to you, because you gotta meet the threshold, and you also have to own property in the village. It has to be your primary residence.
Any board members, questions, comments?
No.
Anyone from the public? Noted that no one spoke. Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Roll call.
Trustee Henry,
Aye.
trustee Coffee. Aye. Trustee Evans,
Aye.
trustee Lopez.
Aye.
Mayor Williams.
Aye. Open a public hearing for proposed local law authorizing a property tax levy for the year ending May 31st, 2025, in excess of the limit established by municipal law 3C. As we mentioned last week, we do this every year as a safety mechanism, in case some days down the road that the state audits everybody and we're off a little bit on our calculations. This covers up us for being over the limit. The tax cap.
Just so you know where we are at this point, and you know, my numbers change this time of year, like the stock exchange numbers. Our cap ceiling is this year would be an additional $666,139 to our expenditures, basically to our levy.
Forget 8%.
Right, and I'm currently at about 7 and climbing. So I'm anticipating that the tentative budget you get will be a few dollars over the tax cap. And really to put that in perspective, if I stayed at the tax cap, the tax rate would probably go down about 6%. Just to put that in perspective. In terms of the calculation this year, the allowable levy growth factor for everyone is 1.2 or 2%, because inflation is higher than 2%. And then our tax-based growth factor, which has been phenomenal for the last several years, is 1.037%, which is actually the third highest in New York State. I think I've told you this the last several years, we've either been second or third, and the first is Sleepy Hollow. For villages, in this budget calendar cycle.
Well, they're cheating, they're building a whole city down here.
Well, Anthony, somebody told Anthony some of these numbers today, and he didn't believe it because he wasn't looking at it. So he called me this morning, and I said to him, no, that's your number. And then actually I was sitting and I was working on the budget, and I had that sheet in front of me, and I took a picture of it, and I said, here's the sorry, I texted him and sent him the picture where I was talking to him without him knowing. And I said, here's the sorry life I have. I actually have a picture of your thing that right in front of me. I said, you're building, multi-million-dollar housing down there, and we're building multi-million-dollar automobile places.
Anyone from the public? Noted that no one spoke. Any board members?
No.
Motion to close the public hearing?
So moved. Second.
Video tape on that. Roll call.
Trustee Henry,
Aye.
trustee Coffee,
Aye.
trustee Evans,
Aye.
trustee Lopez, Mayor Williams.
Aye. Any objection to lumping the ARVs together?
No, there.
$29 Cabot solar panels, 150 East Main Street signs, 23 East Main Street sign, and 80 East Main Street.
So moved.
Second. Roll call.
Trustee Henry,
Aye.
trustee Coffee. Aye. Trustee Evans,
Aye.
trustee Lopez,
Aye.
Mayor Williams.
Aye. Consideration, application for a subdivision at 15 Robbins Avenue.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Trustee Henry,
Aye.
trustee Coffee. Aye. Trustee Evans,
Aye.
trustee Lopez, Mayor Williams.
Aye. Resolution adopting local law repealing and replacing Article 4 to code of the Webster to enact property tax exemptions for senior citizens pursuant to Section 467 of the real property tax.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Trustee Henry,
Aye.
trustee Coffee. Aye. Trustee Evans,
Aye.
trustee Lopez, Mayor Williams.
Not voting. Resolution adopting local law repealing and replacing Article 3 to Chapter 300 taxation code of the Village of Chelmsford to enact property tax exemptions for volunteer firefighters pursuant to Section 466-A.
So moved.
Roll call.
Trustee Henry,
Aye.
trustee Coffee. Aye. Trustee Evans,
Aye.
trustee Lopez, Mayor Williams.
Aye. Resolution adopting local law authorizing a property tax levy for the year ending May 31st, 2025.
So moved.
Roll call.
Trustee Henry,
Aye.
trustee Coffee. Aye. Trustee Evans,
Aye.
trustee Lopez,
Aye.
Mayor Williams.
Aye. Resolution authorizing implementation of the online payment for all the things that we wanted to do.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Trustee Henry,
Aye.
trustee Coffee. Aye. Trustee Evans,
Aye.
trustee Lopez, Mayor Williams.
Aye. Resolution approving the tax cert for Ms. Castellaro at 129 Sawmill River Road for $9,115.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Trustee Henry,
Aye.
trustee Coffee. Aye. Trustee Evans,
Aye.
trustee Lopez, Mayor Williams.
Aye. Resolution to join the textile curbside program with the county.
Second.
Roll call.
Trustee Henry,
Aye.
trustee Coffee. Aye. Trustee Evans,
Aye.
trustee Lopez, Mayor Williams.
Aye. That's all I got. You, Mike?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Committee reports. Trustee Henry.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to start off by thanking Chief Signor and the fire department for always doing a great job. The run total for the month of February was 68 fire runs. I'd like to thank EMS Coordinator Diaz and the EMS personnel for also always doing a great job. The run total for the month of February was 71 EMS runs. Another busy month for our first responders. That's all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. How's the weather down there?
Beautiful. Finally warmed up.
Sure.
It's 7.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Trustee-
I don't have anything for the building department this week, but our friends at the Owsley Library have sent us 2 flyers that the mayor has kindly distributed to everyone. It's one for an Asian movie series. They're gonna be showing the show, a movie called Hero on Thursday, March 28th at 5:30 in the evening. And then for 7th to 10th graders, they have a manga club, read manga, eat pizza, and discuss good series. This month we'll be using the 5th installment of Haiku. Okay. Well, I understand it's a pretty popular bit of comic books. So. And I have it, so I sir.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Evans.
Thank you very much. We are continuing to be incredibly grateful and appreciative of Brian and his team and all of their hard work. If you have noticed, today the weather was feeling a little bit warmer, starting to feel a little bit nicer, which means our highway and sanitation department are switching into the other gear. So the flower pots have been brought over to the nursery. They're getting ready for the spring. You'll start to notice as the weather continues to improve, more potholes being repaired. They began to work on some major ones as the weather has, shown itself to be a little bit better. But as the weather continues to improve, you'll continue to see more of those potholes and those improvements taking place. So we appreciate that. The Elmton Union Free School District held their budget workshop this past Saturday. The boys basketball team and the girls basketball team both advanced to the Class B and Class C sectional finals respectively. Unfortunately, they did not go home with the gold ball, but it was a phenomenal season by both of those teams. And I'm sure the mayor will touch on that as well in his report as well. Recently, the National Elementary Honor Society, they were honored for their leadership, service, and responsibility at the recent school board meeting under the advisement of Mrs. Kaczynski. So congratulations to those National Elementary Honor Society members. And in addition to that, kudos to all of the principals of our schools for the many activities and events surrounding Black History Month, in addition to the events of the PTSA recently as well. Summer camp registration is underway, so I do encourage our residents to quickly register, as we do know spots do fill up fairly quickly. You can do that online at elmsfordny.org/summer-camp to make sure that you register. Trips are posted for our travel camps as well, so you can choose your sessions based upon that. And again, spots do fill up quickly, so please do get on that. So I have my report. Hang on that.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Lopez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Water Department. The Water Department has been busy with the daily water testing and markouts. They repair one main line break and are currently working on it. They completed a 40-meter readings and meter test. IT. Might replace some computers and printers in the village. He updated some networks, however. And he continues with his daily support and monitoring within the village. The constables continue work among Carmel Sunday details. They work on February 25th and March 3rd. And that's all I have tonight.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Commissioner Foster and the police department for doing a great job. As a little bit of nice weather comes out, they get busier and busier, but it's nice to have almost full staff. It makes the job a lot easier. The county held its quarterly emergency management meeting last week. They went over the county's role in emergencies. It's always good to sit in on those meetings. As trustee Evans mentioned about the basketball teams, we had gone over to escort them back. Unfortunately, as trustee Evans mentioned, they lost, but we were there to escort them back as we always do. And we want to thank the county police for welcoming us there and assisting if we were going to St. Patrick's Day parades on Sunday the 10th at 1:30. We have our annual tabletop exercise briefing with Con Ed on the 18th at 1 o'clock. And I'd like to wish trustee Evans happy birthday and happy Easter, everybody, if we don't see it. Administrator?
1 second. Trying to catch it. Just want to say happy birthday to trustee Evans. And one thing I just want to point out, and the mayor's heard me say this for probably 21 years. This is the time of year that I can't stand the most because everything looks so dirty. Thankfully this year, there's not a lot of dirty snow hanging and it's not here, it's everywhere. But today, I had stopped at Subway and I parked the car, in the, just past the buildings there. So then I got in the car and the phone rang. So I was sitting there and talking on the phone and I happened to look to my right at the park and I was like, "Man, that looks really good. So what happened here? Usually this time of year, it's dirty, you can see whatever." So I called Brian and I said, "Did you guys clean that up already?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Thank you." I said, "It really looks good. It makes a difference." It just, for 30 some years, I've always complained about this time of year and I turned my head and I saw that. And so I called him and I was very thankful. It looked very nice. Thank you.
It's always ahead of that stuff. Council?
Perfect. That's all I got.
Highway?
Happy birthday.
EMS chief?
Happy birthday, man.
Oh.
You're number 25. He's enjoying. He's enjoying.
Water? Mitch?
Happy birthday.
IT?
Perfect.
Oh.
Thank you. Trustee Lewis.
Anyone from the public? Motion to adjourn the meeting? All in favor? Opposed? Carried.